All right, let's go ahead and look a little bit at some of these artifacts that they have. So first, I'm going to kind of step a little bit back from this one to the metadata, but it's on Windows, so that's why I wanted to talk about it now. And if I look under downloads, you'll notice that I have two files in here, eoa.htm and OBS Studio, and dir just shows normal information. But I know for a fact that EOA has a alternate data stream on there. So I can see that if I do a dir/r, and now we can see that there's this alternate data stream of zone identifier. And this, all this is just the data for zone identifier. So that's the actual one. So if you open this up through Notepad, you can do something like Notepad eoa.htm :zone identifier. My Notepad's not working for some reason, but I already opened it up. And so right here is the contents of that alternate data stream. So you'll notice that this shows that it was downloaded from teams.microsoft.com/error/EOA. That's a URL. There's the zone ID, so on and so forth. This is why any of you who may have downloaded a PowerPoint or a Word document or an Excel document, and you open it up inside of, say, Microsoft Word, and Microsoft Word refuses to let you edit it, saying that it has been downloaded from, or it came from someplace which isn't trustworthy or something of that nature. Well, all it's doing is it's looking at the zone identifier and sees that it came from some zone outside of the particular computer. So if you remove the zone identifier, that will cause it to open it up and let you edit it just like normal. Other utilities will do something similar. So if you download an application and you try to run the application on Windows, it may say that application was downloaded from an untrusted location. Well, it's just looking at that zone identifier. So if you wanted to see it, there's a way in PowerShell to get the same information, but just look at alternate data streams online, and you'd be surprised at how much information is just stored hidden with the files. And again, that's something that a malicious user can easily take a file and add their own alternate data stream to try to sneak information by. In fact, there was a bug in IIS many years ago where ASP files, which the .NET ASP files, which were similar to like Python or whatever, but just Microsoft version, when it was called from a web browser, it was supposed to run and not give the entire source code. But there was a bug to where if you passed a specific string, specifically you said the ASP file, and then you did a $data, which is just the data of that, IIS would misinterpret that and send back the entire ASP file to the user. That's long since been fixed, but it was a pretty serious bug there, and it used those alternate data streams. So now looking at Windows, I wanted to look at the prefetch. So I had already downloaded this PE command, and in order to see these, I need to bring up the command prompt, need to run it as an administrator, and I need to go into the prefetch folder. And so notice that prefetch has a whole bunch of files in here already. There's a couple of DB files, but we aren't going to worry about those so much. But we want to look at this PF file. So specifically command.exe, the format is, this is the executable, this is a hash of this prefetch, and it's a prefetch file. So to look at this, I'm going to users, desktop, PE command, and then cmd.exe, and this will show me, oh, that's not right. Oh, I need to do a -f. So you can tell it to run on an entire directory or just a single file. And this will tell me all of the information for it. So this file was created on 6/5/2026. That's when I ran this at 6:57, which that's not going to be quite accurate because UTC time and everything. Modified that several hours later. Last access, there's that particular hash. There's a file size. Version. This has been run 2 times. Last run was, well, just now. Notice that it's just a couple minutes ago. There's the other run time. Volume information. This is what volume it was on, the serial number for it. These are the directories referenced for this particular executable. This is the files referenced in there. And this is all the information on it. So this is useful specifically for like malware analysis. If you have an executable which was run, a lot of times it won't clean up the prefetch entry, and so you can go through there and see what files did it actually reference, what was it doing, and all that. If I go ahead and try a different file, let's look for something else in here. Several SVC hosts. Let's go ahead and just run this setup. That looks like a larger entry. All right, so looking at this, this is much bigger, but this was a setup utility. This was when I had set up this particular virtual machine. File size, it's been run 2 times. The other runtime was the same day. And this was part of the Microsoft Edge updates, it looks like. So these are all the files that it referenced, which it referenced quite a lot of files, which is why it's a much bigger file size. Notice that, well, there's the link file that was created for the quick launch. There's, oh, here's a source. This is a compressed source for it. So that's the temp. So it probably downloaded that and then extracted it and then ran it. So this just shows you so much more information for everything that is going on. And then finally, I want to show you the event viewer. So the event viewer is built into Windows. Oh, actually, I want to run this as an administrator. And there we go. And here we can see our Windows logs. And if I click on application, this is going to show the current application log in the event log. And so there'll be everything from information to errors. You might see warnings in here. I'm not seeing any. Oh, there's one. So in this case, the Windows search service is starting up, attempting to remove the old search index. That's just a warning. Has successfully removed the old search index. These are the event IDs right here. So that was in the PowerPoint slides. Those are going to be an ID which ties to that specific type of event. Errors here. So in this case, error while updating Defender status to security product state on. So on and so forth. So not all errors are necessarily bad. In this case, optimizers couldn't retrim because the request operation isn't supported by the hardware. That's fine. I don't need the retrim for that. In security, these are going to be the security logs. On this case, we should see pretty much audit success everywhere, but some systems you might see audit failed if someone tried to log in and type their password wrong, or maybe some attacker was trying to log into the system. Setup, this will also have setup information, so DNS information, which makes sense because I turned off the internet access on this. It's going to have a lot of time errors related to that. Kernel power, system is rebooted without cleanly shutting down first. That's because I had to, this was in a unhappy state. I had to power cycle this particular virtual machine, and that's why we have that. Yeah, previous shutdown was unexpected, so on and so forth. So those are going to be important logs for a lot of it. Additionally, there's this application and service logs. And if I look under Microsoft, under Windows, there are all sorts of logs in here for all sorts of different applications and services and everything. not all of these will have stuff in there. In this case, user device registration has 2 log entries for that, but I can look at time service. Oh, well, time service has the operational one. This one is completely empty. So the tenant restrictions, there's no events. No events in a lot of these. This is also a new system, and so it's not really that busy. But on like a print server, there's this print service. There's usually a couple of other log entries useful for knowing who sent a print job, what print job it was, what the status of those particular jobs were. So these Windows logs are there. There's also AppV and user experience. And other applications can create their own application and service logs inside of there. Just really kind of depends upon the particular developer. So definitely should take a look through this. Oh, and I was going to show the registry. So if we type regedit and run this as an administrator and bring that up, this is the registry on the particular system. So HKLM is HKey local machine. And then if we look under software, these are going to be the software installed packages. Classes is going to be quite a bit of stuff there. It is a little bit overwhelming when you first see this, but it's pretty easy when you start digging through that. So Microsoft settings. And if we look at HKey current user, this is the current logged in user. It's not going to be every user. For that, you look under HKey users, and it will have the SID for every user on that system and their configurations and settings for all of that. So there's quite a bit more in here. There's a lot. There's anytime you need to make a change to a system, on a Windows system, a lot of times there will be some registry key that you have to enable, or you have to change, or you have to manipulate. So try to remember what some of the things that I've modified before. I don't remember what they are or anything. I don't know exactly which ones those are, but these are D words. You can also have there's a accepted privacy policy. So it's a 0 or 1 probably. And you can change whatever it is to whether you accepted the privacy policy. Regional settings for this, camera sound level. So if there needs to be a specific camera level, because some countries you have to make a sound with the camera every time that you take a camera. You can also have strings. That's what these SZs are. You can create your own string, binary value, D word, Q word, multi-string, or expandable string. A lot of times it's just D words or sometimes strings that you end up creating. But from a forensics perspective, there's a massive amount of information that is just spread all over the registry, which a lot of people just don't realize it keeps all of that. Everything from your browser history. Most of it is in Chrome or Edge now, which stores things differently, but older systems which are using Internet Explorer would have specific registry keys which has all the browser entries, and the browser history, cookies, everything are just stored in the registry. So being able to look through that and identify information is really quite important.